Hi, this is lesson number 5, and we are going to discuss in this lesson about Aristotle. Earlier, we have discussed the views of Socrates and his student Plato, and now in this lesson, we shall discuss these things about Aristotle. So, Aristotle was the student of Plato, the first thing, as earlier I mentioned even. So he was born 384 BC and died 322 BC, and his family was quite wealthy, and his birthplace was somewhere in Macedonia. So when you go to Google and search Macedonia, you will find it is in the northern part of Greece. And then he went to study in academy, the same school founded by Plato. And where is academy? It is in Athens. So again you search it on Google, that you find that Athens in the southern part of Greece. So there is a huge distance between these two cities, Macedonia and Athens. So Aristotle used to travel that distance. So first he was born in Macedonia, then he went to Athens for study. And there he studied under Plato, and he learned logic, reasoning, debate, and so many things, and so many fields of life. He studied there, and later he started teaching there in academy. And later he came back to Macedonia, and in Macedonia he became the tutor of Alexander the Great. We, we all know who Alexander the Great was. So he was there as a tutor to him back in Macedonia. After teaching him for years, he again went back to Athens. So he was traveling that huge distance, and then he started his own school, and his school was later to be known as Peripatetic School. And the meaning of the word peripatetic is somewhere like walking. So it might have been taken from the same sense, as he used to walk a lot for his study. So later Alexander died in the year 323 BC. And after his death, some of the people got against Aristotle. There might be some political views or other things why they got against him, and they wanted to kill him, in fact. So Aristotle later fled to Chalcis, another place. So there he lived for a year or so, and then he died there. So this is all about his life. So the main point is that he founded the school Peripatetic, and he was the master of Alexander, or you can say the tutor, rather I would say he was the tutor of Alexander the Great. Now, among his famous work, we shall discuss the structure of poetics here. Poetics, we all know, you might have studied this in several universities. You will find that this is a very interesting topic. Uh, in Poetics, there are overall 26 chapters, and among them, okay, so first thing to be noted, that it wasn't a complete work, it was incomplete, and the first 5 chapters, chapter number 1 to chapter number 5, were based on kinds of poetry, classification of poetry. Then chapter 6 to 19 were on tragedy. So 6 to 19 means 14 chapter. He gave a detailed study. He presented so many things about tragedy. We shall discuss those things a bit later. and then chapter 20 to 22 on poetic style. Then chapter 23 is on narrative poetry, and chapter 24 is about discussion on epic. Then chapter number 25, it is about critics' objection against poetry and his reply. So we know that the critics or the other philosophers, their contemporaries, whether it was Plato or Aristotle, so their contemporary used to criticize poetry. So what were their views about poetry and what was Aristotle's reply? It is given in the chapter number 25, and the last chapter 26, it tells us the explanation or the comparison between epic poetry and tragedy. So this is the structure of poetics. So only the worth noting thing I think in this is that he spent so much pages on tragedy only. Chapter number 6 to 19. So in the next lesson we shall discuss some of the things about poetics, what are the concepts given by him and their explanation. So for the moment, it's enough for this lesson. Thanks.